Hey everybody, welcome back to our neck of the woods. So in today's video, we are going to finally start talking about fire suppression and also alerting. So come on and I'm going to show you what we got going on. Okay, so over the year or so that Aaron and I have been building this house, I've had many comments saying that you guys need to put in fire suppression. You need a sprinkler system. Well, I don't know how to do that, and I don't know if anyone even in Ohio has local residential code for it, because even with me being bored looking online at like mini mansions, I've never seen a fire suppression system in there or a sprinkler system. So I have no idea how to do it. I don't even know if they can rate it and code it. Obviously they do for industrial, but maybe not for residential. But it also scares me anyway. You're having to buy a whole bunch of other stuff. You're having to buy pumps, and you'd obviously have to run piping up through the attic. And yes, we could put the pipes as low to the ceiling as possible under insulation and even insulate the pipe itself, but that still scares the crap out of me, especially if there's an accidental discharge or something breaks and we're not home. Now your house is just entirely flooding. So your house is either gonna be destroyed by fire and the flooding as that's happening, if both are happening at the same time, or flooding alone if the system were to just go off accidentally. So because of that, the freezing and all that, it's just not something that I wanna do. So several years ago, I saw a YouTube video and I thought that was the coolest thing ever. It's basically an automatic fire suppression system. And then most of you I know watch Matt Reisinger too, and I wanna say within the last several months, he posted a video of basically a fire extinguisher ball that you can mount, and it basically takes care of itself. So there's several companies out there for fire balls that I'm talking about, and if you guys don't know what the heck I'm talking about, don't worry. We went ahead and went with this company, and they make several different sizes. And then there's also some companies that we're probably gonna go with down the road, and that is because they make decorative fireballs. So this one, for example, basically stands out like a sore thumb. So this is a 6-pounder. I think they make 4s and 3s, and it depends what company you go with, etc. But this is a 6-pound ball, and I believe this one is good for only 60 square feet. So I'll have to look on that and post it up ahead right now and tell you exactly, but I thought it said 60 square feet. But if you're in an enclosed area and it's not open, like right here, you know, fire's burning over there and this is, you know, 60 square feet away, the openness, I think, will have diminishing effects on it. But downstairs, for example, like in the utility room, because we've got gas coming soon, we've got potentiality of fire and stuff like that. So mounting one of these down in the utility room in an 80 square foot room near or around the boilers and stuff, I think will be more than enough to suppress a fire. Now, these come with a metal cage that you mount to the wall, and you just sit the fireball down in, and it just set it and forget it. What these do basically is they've got 6 pounds of basic dry powder fire suppression in it, kind of like a dry fire extinguisher, whatever those chemicals are. It's got a plastic layer around it, and if you watch the videos online on YouTube, basically they have someone build like basically a wooden doggy house, catch it on fire, you take one of these, you chuck it in, within about 2 to 3 seconds, the fire quickly burns through the plastic layer, and like a bomb going off, it throws the dry powder everywhere, all over everything, and actually puts it out. So not only is it the chemical going everywhere and putting the fire out, but it's also literally like a bomb effect. It's like a hand grenade. It blows so much air out too that you're blowing the fire kind of out, and then the dry powder gets all over the hot coals or whatever on the surface of wood, etc. And they do work. I thought they were the coolest thing that I've ever seen. Like I said, I first saw them several years ago, forgot about them, and then I saw Matt Reisinger post about it, and I go, oh my God, yes, that is what we need to do. So again, because because we're having the utility room and getting gas coming in soon, and I had said in the last video, we do not want to really just put a fire alarm down there if we're gonna like be doing heat to keep everything from freezing. You're not gonna hear that fire alarm. So this is there for basically just added insurance. And I have bought 3 of these so far. I'm gonna go ahead and put one in the utility room. I'm gonna put one in the laundry room, and I'm gonna put one out in the garage above where my workbench is going to be and where my cabinet is going to be. Don't have the cabinet yet, but eventually, if we put paint, spray paint, gas cans, oil, stuff like that out in the garage, set one of these guys right above there. If something were to ever spark, catch on fire, flame gets high enough and hot enough, this thing is gonna go off like a bomb and hopefully put everything out. Now, not all fire extinguishers are equal, so I will have to look for this and make sure that it is okay. Basically meaning one fire extinguisher can't put everything out. You've got CO2, dry powder, etc., etc. And on this one, I believe it does say it's approved for A and B, which is good for wood, plastic, paper, rubber, and then flammable liquids like fat and oil. So you'd want to put this in like a kitchen too, but we're not going to put one of these in the kitchen. The kitchen should never be on and running if we're not home, so it's not something that we need to like kind of set and forget it. We'll have a fire extinguisher in the kitchen if we're cooking and something actually flames up. Now, what I meant by the Decorative company, there's a company that makes these in decorative balls. I've seen some that are like wrapped in like a little bit of moss, so it looks almost like a rock. I've seen the Death Star from Star Wars. I've seen the Navy, the Coast Guard, the Air Force, the Marines, Army, etc. Wrapped in them too. So you can kind of set them over by the fireplace and not look so ugly, bright red, like warning this is something going on. But if we set like the decorative Death Star or something on the mantle, it can sit above the fireplace. Fireplace catches on fire. You got one of these right above it and just boom, hopefully fire goes out and we don't have to worry about it. So hopefully that is something that you guys would be interested in that we have. Yes, it's not a water system, but water system on electrical fire, I don't think that's great. Can't say that that 100% is gonna work for electrical fire. I don't think it said that, but at least if other things are catching on fire, then you've got something there as opposed to throwing water all over your house. Now, as for the alerting of us, when the last inspector was here, he wanted to know where all of my sprinkler alarm boxes were and wired up, and I told him that we're gonna do wireless, and he goes, oh, okay, that's fine. So again, because we've got gas going into the basement, I'm not gonna be able to hear that alarm, but it is wise that we're gonna go ahead and start placing some of our wireless sensors just in case. For example, right now we don't have the back windows and doors still in, so maybe we'll be able to hear an alarm through the basement, wirelessly transmit up to the first floor, and then that sound is getting out through, and then maybe I can hear that out in the RV, or I can hear that when I'm out on the property, or obviously that I'm in here in the house, because how are you not gonna hear that? So we went with a company called X-Sense. So we will be going ahead and getting several of these smoke alarms, and there are 6 of them in here. So they are extremely tiny smoke alarms. And the good thing about X-Sense, and I know they're not the only one out there, but these are all wireless and they are all interlinked to each other. Here is just one of these little guys right here, barely the size of basically a baseball or a tennis ball. They are very small. They come with a replaceable C123 battery, and they said that the battery in here is good for 5 years. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with smoke alarms, it is recommended that every 10 years you go ahead and replace them. I can't remember if these are at the 5-year also or if these are at the 10-year, but basically the sensors can go bad. So if you do have smoke alarms in your house, which is like the #1 cause of deaths in families and fires, people do not replace their smoke alarms. They don't get waken up by the smoke. Fire overtakes them, smoke overtakes them, and it's actually a pretty big cause in this country as a problem. So I know it's a lot of money, especially if you've got wired ones, but or if you want to transition over to these. I want to say these ones were only about $20 some a piece, so they're not that expensive. And again, they're all interlinked to each other once you start the system up and you connect them all together. So if we have a fire down in the utility room and we're sleeping in our master bedroom that's completely walled off and it's soundproof, as we're gonna throw insulation and drywall up to do that, we may not hear a fire alarm down in the utility room. So if we go ahead and place one of these in utility and in the gym, the bedroom or the basement, I think you have to have them in or outside of the bedrooms. I believe both. We're gonna go ahead and place them in the kitchen, above the fireplace, and in the master bedroom closet, because the closet's so big, and again, that can close off. And since we're gonna have an island in there with an ironing board, we're gonna do like, you know, a granite countertop on a cabinet in there, right in the middle. And because that's a big room, and again, there's electricity and an ironing board, that could be a fire. And then of course in the master bedroom too. So again, fire goes off in the utility room. These all send signal over to each other. And if we're in a soundproof bedroom, the bedroom one will pick up that signal and it will go off. And now we have to start running around the house for all 12 of these and trying to find out where the heck the fire's at. And then last, we are gonna place one out in the garage too. That way, if fire goes off, we're alerted. We can go out there, and out in the garage, we're probably not gonna hear anything either. That's a soundproof wall being ICF. And once that door closes and we close the laundry room door, again, we're not gonna be able to hear anything out there. So hopefully this signal will be able to pass through the steel door of the garage, and we'll be able to get into the laundry room where we will also put one. And those signals hopefully will be able to communicate, being only like 5 or 6 feet away from each other. But again, we're trying to get that signal through a concrete wall and a steel door. So we'll see when we load these up and we actually start testing them. Now, the only thing I didn't like about X-Sense is that they have hundreds of different kinds of models. They've got integrated carbon monoxide and fire, but it seems like every model can't communicate with other models. And I didn't want to buy carbon monoxide detectors for every single room. I only want to put carbon monoxide above where there's gas. So for example, utility room, above the fireplace, and in the kitchen, since we have a stove. I don't want to put one out in the garage because I think cars may set it off all the time, and that will be really annoying. But I did not go with a combo one because again, X-Sense's combo can't communicate with these little ones, and the combo ones are very expensive. So instead, I just bought 3 carbon monoxide only detectors, and they are able to link to each other. So again, utility room, kitchen, and above the fireplace where all 3 of our gas sources are. And those should be able to alert us if there's a carbon monoxide leak or something's burning and leaking and not venting out properly. So the carbon monoxides are a little bigger. They seem to be about the size of a traditional smoke detector. But they also have a replaceable battery. It looks like 3 AA's. So again, this probably has a 5 to 10 year on it also. Again, sensors go bad. Now they're not reading correctly. So you want to go ahead and probably swap those out. Not just replace a battery every 5 or 10 years. I mean, replace the entire sensor just for safety. Batteries, I think in most smoke alarms, they say replace every year maybe, but X-Sense is saying at least 5 to 10 years on some of their devices. Something that, again, if you don't feel comfortable going that long for, you can always test the system out and see if they'll work. So on these ones here, you just have a simple test button, and I'm not sure if I can get the remote to work, but we did spend another like $12, I think, and we got a little baby remote here. So I think the remote will only be linked and tested to the actual fire alarms or smoke detectors, not the carbon monoxide. But nice little handheld device that you can mount on a wall, or it looks like you can glue it on a surface. And once they're all interlinked to each other, I don't have to get a ladder to go up 11 feet in here or 16 feet in here or even 9 to 10 feet down into the basement. Just simply press and hold the button and all 12 of these suckers should go off all at the exact same time. So something that we'll go ahead and test out on a later date. I don't want to open all these up and do it right now, just due to the fact we start to delete the battery life and because we start to possibly get them contaminated because we've got painting that still needs to go on, a ton of drywall that needs to go on, and then you got drywall dust going up in the air, sawdust, stuff like that. So I'm only gonna put the CO2 and one of the fire alarms down in the basement in the utility room, since that room's pretty much going to be closed off once I put the door in, and it'll be sealed and I don't have to worry about any dust or drywall or anything like that. The garage is obviously done, so we can put it out there, and then maybe we'll do a test down there. We'll go ahead, and I don't know if the button will tell them all to go off at once, but I think maybe I'll do a first handheld button test in the utility room, and then it'll be interesting to see if it can get out to the garage and communicate, because they do say there's like an 800 foot or something limit on them, and that's obviously very short distance, but of course we're going through, again, concrete wall and a steel door. So we'll do that at least as a test. Maybe I'll have to put one in the utility out in the garage, and maybe set one up in here in the laundry room, and then we'll just cover it up and keep it protected when we start doing more work in here. But that will at least be kind of like a jumper signal to go over into the garage. And then again, hopefully we'll be able to hear it out in the RV. I don't know, we'll see. But that's what I got for you guys. I'll post all the links down in the description below, so you guys can purchase this stuff or look into it too. And I'll show you that decorative ball too, if you guys want to look at that one and go with a different company. But that's what I got for you. Hopefully that satisfies all the people that wanted some sort of suppression system in here. Again, I think these things work really well, and it's just added insurance, and it's basically just for safety of us, especially when we're not in here living all the time. So that's all I got for you. That's the video this week. Right now we're still working on the utility room. We are very close to getting the radiant heat installed, which today is kind of pointless because it's 61 degrees outside. And the basement and the garage are absolutely freezing, because when it gets down to 30, 40 at night, those temperatures slowly start to drop. And then, like I said in another video, it takes forever for those temperatures to climb back up, because again, you're still so sealed. So today's kind of a refreshing day to have a 61 degree day, but very soon, again, the next video that you guys are gonna see is hopefully the utility room 100% done, radiant heat done and running. We'll have water in here because the radiant's running, so we don't have to worry about freezing. It should be able to keep the temperature well above 32, that we don't have to worry that the back doors and stuff aren't in, but that's also coming up in a future video. And stay tuned. We're very close to having this a lot more sealed up and comfortable, and also a lot more safe. So we'll see you guys on another video, and like and subscribe, comment if you got anything to say about this and what you guys think. Hit us up on NeckofTheWoods 2020 if you need to personal message us, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.